Well, hello and welcome. It is Monday morning here in the UK, 24th of March, just a little after 10 a.m. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Jenny McCormac. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that's here in the UK. Each week I do 3 Facebook Live videos. These get uplifted to YouTube, so you can watch it on the platform of your choice. I introduce a new stamp set, usually, each week. This one is called Year of Flowers, as you can see there, hopefully on the screen by the title. Hi Caroline, thanks for joining us while you're on holiday. That's very impressive. So we have 12 flower designs, one for each month, obviously, and we've got the month name next to it, so January through to December. And then we have, excuse me, 4 additional sentiments. Hoping your day blooms with happiness. I couldn't have picked a better friend. Sending you a floral hug, I like that one. And then happy birthday. These work perfectly well on their own, but there are some dies that go with them as well. They are an online exclusive. They came out at the beginning of March, so beginning of this month. The stamps themselves are £25. The dies, and the dies cut out each of these individual flowers, but they cut them out without the wording, so that's quite a good option if you want them without the wording. So they're sort of detailed around each flower. And then the bundle, if you buy them together, is discounted at £48.50. So 16 stamps altogether. Oh, Caroline's back. I beg your pardon, Caroline. Good morning to you, Nicole, in the Netherlands. I thought I would also team it with these new stencils. If people at Coffee and Card wanted to use them. So there are a set of 5. They are £13, but they're great for creating quick and interesting backgrounds. So we've got this one with the little sort of flower design. Let me put that. Let me get a darker card to put behind. This might be a bit more useful, I don't know. So we've got that one there. And then we have these that can all layer together. So you've got a geometric one here. And then we've got like a net or fence. And this particularly goes with these next 2. So we've got this one here. And then a smaller one there. So those 3 can easily be layered together. I've just got this annoying cough when I start in the mornings, Nicole. Nothing more than that. So those 3 can be layered together and give a really nice effect. I appreciate you can't see that on the screen. But I think I'm just going to use this just to show you a different background. And here in the UK, it's Mother's Day this coming Sunday, 30th of March. So I'm just going to make a couple of Mother's Day cards. Sadly, my mother is no longer here with us, but you can gift a Mother's Day card to your daughter if she has children, for example, or a sister, sister-in-law, etc. Or you can just make it a birthday card. So the first thing I'm going to do is just a little bit of stenciling on here, and I'm just going to pop that on there. You can use masking tape to hold it. I'm literally just going to brush over it very quickly for a background. And the colour I've got here is Highland Heather. Hi Kerry, good early morning to you. Okay. Oh no, good evening for you, isn't it? Let me see. Yes, it's evening for you. Kerry comes to us from Australia. So I'm just going to pop this on here. And you could just do a little bit in each corner if you wanted to. You don't have to do the whole thing. So let's just try that as an effect. I should really put a piece of grid paper, scrap paper underneath, so I don't get it all over my work surface. Let me just see if that's alright. Oh, I've moved my camera back. Sorry folks. That's why it's sort of off the screen. I do apologise. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this sort of in each corner at random. Just pick up some ink. It's actually a gorgeous grape. And I'm just doing a very light brushing over there. Literally like that. You can see that. I'm going to do the same here. So I'm not worrying really where I'm putting it on the paper. Obviously if you wanted an all over design, you could spend a bit more time and position it accordingly. But these masks are great for just adding a little bit of interest. The same as stamping your background really. So I've actually got gorgeous grape ink, Highland Heather base, and I've just added that around the edges. Hopefully it's a bit light, hopefully you can see that. Maybe I'll do this one a little bit darker so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. There we are, hopefully. There we are. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of a background going on. So the masks are £13 for a set of 5, and we use them in our class, and they're included in the class in the box. Not those particular ones, but some other ones this month. So a number of things and ideas with these stamps. What I'm going to do is just stamp 3 of those, 3 months together. So I'm going to do February, March, April, and so March is in the middle. I'm going to pop that onto there, and then the other one I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp them and then punch them out with one of our punch shapes. So you could use any punch really that you've got. You could also use dies. Punches are great for quick and easy crafting, and obviously particularly good for taking to coffee and card. So I should have got these out, shouldn't I? February, March and April. Give me 5 minutes to find them, folks. Because who knows, they might be in order, mightn't they? No, they're not. Right, there's March, September, January, December, July, October, November, February. I have to say that I've not long had this set, and I haven't even put the image stickers on, so I do apologise for that. And then this has got, as I say, a nice happy birthday, and I do like sending you a floral hug. You could use that with lots of other stamps. So the first one I'm going to do is stamp these 3, hopefully in order. Oh, thanks, Carrie. Yeah, they did a great job, and that's our class in the box for this month as well. Morning, Babsy. Morning, Alison. Right, might need some blocks, Jenny. I'm halfway between packing away from my class and having everything packed for coffee and card, so I'll apologise now. Hopefully I've got everything, mostly everything I need. Right, I'm going to look for March, February, March, April. March I'm going to put in the middle, and what I really want to make sure is that the text is straight. Now, if it annoyed you to have the text, I guess you could cut it off or mask it off. You could also use a Stampin' Write marker just to colour the outline if you wanted to. You could do that in basic black. You could do that in early espresso. But hopefully I think that is fairly straight. So let's, before I do it on there, let's have a quick check on here. So I'm keeping the block straight to the grid paper. Yes. Okay. And what I will do is stamp this on my spare card as well, ready for punching out, just to keep things nice and quick, because last week I went over quite a long time with both of my sessions. Okay, I think that's pretty straight. Right, so there is March. I'm going to pop that on here as well so that I can cut it out, leaving a bit of space around it. That one's not as critical that it's straight, of course. Just wipe that off. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. We had our class in Buckingham, which went really well. So we had 6 lovely ladies, did a fantastic job, and we all enjoyed ourselves. Time goes so fast when you're having fun in a class like that. Okay, so this is, I believe, February, which is an iris. March was a daffodil. Just check that again. So I'm just looking at the straightness of February. It's pretty straight. It may not be exact. Let's get that straight to start with. This on here, fingers crossed. There we go. So there's February. March, let's pop this one in here, and then April is, well, I'm not quite sure whether it looks like Lily of the Valley to me. You don't see much Lily of the Valley around these days, or at least I don't. Used to. Okay, trying this again. Hopefully I've got it straight to the block, and I'm just looking to see whether that is straight, and it's fairly straight. Oh, that's May. That was close. Whew. Who spotted that then? I was looking at the flower thinking it was April. So it's this little sort of gerbera daisy thing. I will put all the labels on. That's funny, wasn't it? Right. December, January, September, no, July, June, August, April. Okay. Let's line that up. And I'm just sort of looking through the block to the grid paper. Yep. Right, February, March, April. Get there. And they're all about the same sort of height. Hopefully you can see that. I appreciate you probably can't read the writing necessarily. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I hope I've left enough space between them. Okay, so I've got one background here with some of the mask. You could use one of the flowers all the way over. You could use a sentiment all the way over, for example. So I could do Mother's Day all the way over for another one. Or you could use some patterned paper. Right, so the quickest amount of colouring in. March is daffodils, of course. This is Dark Daffodil Delight. Just a small area to cover. If you want to do some more detailed blending with a lighter and a darker yellow and orange, you could certainly do that. But just a small amount of colouring. There we go. February is an iris, so I'm going to have this sort of Highland Heather colour, and this will bring in the background as well. And again, you could certainly do some shading if you wanted to. It's quite a small flower, so it's, you know, you're not going to see a huge amount of shade. You could leave them uncoloured as well if you wanted to. Right, the rest of that is greenery. And then April, I've got dark bubble bath, so sort of pinky colour. I might just do a yellow centre for this. I'll say if you wanted to, you could cut all of the months off, and then you'd have the option to use both, with and without. Okay, I'm just going to use one green for this colouring here, which is a light old olive, and this is where having a well-used blends pen is good, because you don't want it too inky, because it's a small area. So just a light brush stroke. You could use Stampin Write markers, you could use watercolour pencils as well. There we go. So those are the ones that I'm going to cut out. February, March, April. Just for a minute I thought I'd done those in the wrong order. And you could also cut that out and have that on top if it was a March birthday, for example. So lots of different options with this. That's that. So it was we had a nice weekend weather-wise. A bit cooler this morning, but right, February. Just going to do these quickly. It's dark Highland Heather. Just for speed, I'm sticking with one colour. There's that one. March. There we go. There's the centre for April. Oh, I might leave that white. Okay, so I've got a panel here, and then I can add a sentiment. My Happy Mother's Day could go across the bottom here. Just see the tiny little bit I've missed. There we go. So that's going to be one. Let's punch these out and see what these look like. So I've got assorted sort of narrow punches, which I thought would probably fit quite well. Now I've just got to watch. This has got a slot and a hole punch on either side. So I just want to cut this so that I'm not going into the iris. Plop it into there. And then position it in the centre. So I do want to keep the march vertical. Just lift that up a little bit. That would be fine. So there's March. And then let's see where February is going to drop. Yep, so I've got the same, slightly the same issue here. That's better. Now you can put a piece of post-it note on this to make it easier to hold. I think I'll get away with that. February, March. So for this you could use any punch you've currently got. That would do the job. And then this is April. I'm a little bit close to the edge. There we are. Okay, so same thing but different, for want of a better description. Right, let's hop back in. Okay, so I do have a Happy Mother's Day. There's about 3 or 4 Mother's Day sentiments. You may have already got one. This is from Flower Cards. It's got this nice, slightly good script. It's also got to have a lovely day. So I'm going to try and use that. So we're going to do this one first. So I'm thinking a panel for my little box. I wonder if it will fit this one. Just. I'm going to stamp that in probably Gorgeous Grape, but you could use Early Espresso or pick up any of the other colours. And don't forget, my tip for checking to see whether it's going to fit is turn it over and stamp it on the reverse first, and then if it doesn't work you haven't wasted a die cut. You could use a strip of card, you could use another punch for example. So I'm hoping this is going to fit. And it does. Okay, so always worth checking. So this is now the correct side, like so. So this can go below, it could go on the side like that, could go at the top. Really just depends on what layout you prefer. They're going to go up on dimensionals. And then my 3 panels here, let's grab, let's see, this is Fresh Freesia, or I could just look for some patterned paper to save time. Let me just see if I've got anything to hand that will do the job. This is that beautiful bokeh paper. I think I'm going to use that. Should be the same size. Right, so February, March, April. So it obviously lends itself to going this way. It would probably fit this way, but it's all a bit sort of pushed together. But if you had a bigger sentiment, that would definitely work. So let's pop these up. What I might do is stamp my Mother's Day onto here. I'm just going to use the same one because I haven't got many Mother's Day stamps. This is actually still Fresh Freesia. Gorgeous Grape, sorry. So there's Happy Mother's Day on there. And we're just going to pop these on 2 cards. This one and this one. So bookings for my class in a box for March will close off today. So thank you to everybody who has ordered already. Changing, well, I don't know whether it's the designs or whether because I've changed the way the class in a box works. It's been popular this month. Okay, so let's see. Happy Mother's Day. So just stamped on there, and this is the one that we use the masks on. So let's pop that onto our card. So these cards are half an A4, so I've scored down the centre of an A4 card along the long side, and then at 14.85, and then cut it at 10.5 centimetres to create 2 cards from one base. So obviously this doesn't have to be Mother's Day. This could easily be an anniversary card, birthday card, really whatever you want it to be. Let's layer that up. Perfect. So that one's, is that right? Yes, it is. Is that right? No, that way round. Confused myself for a minute. There we go. Although it would work either way, wouldn't it? Okay. So these are going to go on with my dimensionals, which amazingly are just here. And so things like the little bees, the butterflies, any of the bling, you could wrap some linen thread around if you wanted to step it up a little bit more. Just take these pieces off. Go. I just see one little hole that hasn't come away. There we go. So there's that one. I'm just going to put 3 on here just to support it. So, and then do the same for this one, and make sure I put these back in order. You can add some fine thread behind if you wanted to. So, April, February. I'm going to put March, and I always like to put the centre one first and then work out from there. And hopefully my Happy Mother's Day is roughly in the middle. There we go. You could add some Wink of Stella to the flowers to glitter the flowers up as well if you wanted to, and you could put a little banner or something behind. Right, just going to let that sit very lightly until I put the other one down, just in case I need to move them. Same with this one, just don't press it down until you're ready. Just need it slightly to the right. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So there we are, 2 Mother's Day cards with the same set. These have been punched out. Oh, sorry. These have been punched out. These are stamped on a single panel. I wonder which you like the best. Whether you like the individual ones or the 3. I think you could... This feels a little bit plain in the background. So I think what I might do is be daring and add a little more of that mask, if I could find where I put them. There they are. So this was one I used, but you've got these bolder ones here. And what I'm going to do is, I don't normally do it after I've done that, but I am today. Just going to cover that up a little bit. I don't want to get carried away, and I'm just going to put the odd little piece here and there. Like so. So again, just covering that up. You can see that. And I'm also being trying to be careful not to go onto the white of the card, but I don't think it's the end of the world if I do, because I've got the dimensionals behind here. So yeah, just breaks it up a little bit. There we are. There we go. I like that with just a little hint. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can in the light. So there we go. And then on the inside I could stamp the have a lovely day. You could add the flowers in. You could add a little bit more of that mask on the inside if you wanted to. Just on this edge would be quite nice. And if I'm using that element that is straight, like so, there we go. And you can pop that onto the envelope as well. Okay, so we're all done. So this is Year of Flowers. It's one of our online exclusive items, so you won't see it in a printed catalogue. It is cling, mount. As I say, if you buy the dies cut out the flowers without the words, so you basically got the choice of 2, and it also has some pretty little dies that fit these a little shape. I'm trying to think of the word, but I can't. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. This is what we're doing at Coffee and Card this week. So tomorrow in Brackley, this afternoon in Toaster, and on Friday in Brackley. So thank you so much for joining us. It looks like I've frozen on the screen, on Facebook anyway. Oh no, maybe not. So thank you so much for joining us. Do take care, and I look forward to crafting with you again on Wednesday morning. Thank you so much, and bye for now.